Texas reopens. The president says, no, not so fast. And Dr. Seuss hits the chopping block of cancel culture. Welcome to another edition of the show. Glad to have you here after a year of lockdowns ranging from churches to family gatherings. After tens of thousands of business closures, the governor of Texas announced this week that all of that was ending. No masks and everything is open.
So today, I'm issuing a new executive order that rescinds most of the earlier executive orders. Effective next Wednesday, all businesses of any type are allowed to open 100%.
So many people will die. No, not really.
That includes any type of entity in Texas. Also, I am ending the statewide mask mandate.
Well, imagine that. We'll all have naked faces. He was met with disdain and abject panic from Democrat COVID dictators like Gavin Newsom of California, who's currently being recalled because he really messed up California during the COVID. And the president, of course, is nowhere near ready to let us live normally.
Listen, hang on.
I've been cautioned not to give an answer to that because we don't know for sure. But my hope is by this time next year, we're going to be back to normal, and before that, my hope. But again, it depends upon if people continue to be...
And to wear masks, even though they've been vaccinated like you, and
smart,
maintaining the social distancing, and having a restaurant be destroyed and not going to church.
And that we still...
all that stuff.
...can have significant losses. There's a lot we have to do yet. So thank you.
Of course, he also took credit for the Trump administration's Operation Warp Speed, which provided the vaccines Biden says that he's distributing.
We're now on track to have enough vaccine supply for every adult in America by the end of May. Let me say that again.
I haven't done anything in Washington, D.C. in 47 years, but I'm going to take credit for this.
When we came into office, the prior administration had contracted for not nearly enough vaccine to cover adults in America. We rectified that. About 3 weeks ago, we were able to say that
thank God you came along.
We'll have enough vaccine supply for adults by the end of July.
Meanwhile, if Donald Trump were the president and the Biden administration was in the past, there wouldn't be any vaccine.
And I'm pleased to announce today, as a consequence of the stepped-up process that I've ordered and just outlined, this country will have...
I think he's probably reading that. I could be wrong.
Enough vaccine supply.
No, I'm not.
I'll say it again, for every adult in America.
You want to say it 3 times?
By the end of May.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
By the end of May. That's progress.
10 months ago, I actually used this clip from the movie Red Planet to describe what would happen after we removed our masks. Now, you notice these guys have masks on, and they're suffocating.
Replace your O2 canister immediately.
Better put another mask on. And Val Kilmer opens his helmet. You see, the air is fine. You get the analogy? Yeah. Here's the president mumbling something when confronted about the border crisis, and yes, there is one.
Did you receive a briefing about the border today?
Yes, I did.
What did you learn?
A lot.
Is there a crisis at the border, sir?
And you know what caused that border crisis? Policy. Yeah, I know, weird, right? Alejandro Mayorkas, the DHS secretary, says sending your kid into a foreign country by dumping them off into the desert, as many have done recently, is actually an act of love.
Well, actually, the Trump administration expelled children to Mexico. And we are not expelling young children. We are not apprehending a 9-year-old child.
We're putting them in cages. I mean, the detention facilities.
Come alone, who's traversed Mexico, whose loving parents had sent that child alone. We're not expelling that 9-year-old child to Mexico when that child's country of origin was Guatemala, Honduras, or El Salvador.
Yeah, see, you know what? I've been telling my wife this for years, that my parents abandoned me on that vacant, dead-end road is an act of love. Touché. Yeah. He also said the fact there's a massive influx of children across the border is not a crisis.
Do you believe that right now there's a crisis at the border?
I think that the answer is no. I think there is a challenge at the border that we are managing.
It's not a crisis, it's a challenge.
And we have our
They're not cages, they're detention facilities.
resources dedicated to managing it.
And so a lot of the things that you are talking about, you admit, take some time to implement. But right now you've got about 200 migrant children crossing the border every single day. CBP projected a peak of 13,000 unaccompanied children in the month of May, according to a report in Axios.
Being left in the desert there, yeah.
What is being done between now and then when you're able to implement all the things that you're
what's being done is stuff that Donald Trump wouldn't do.
talking about that you say will take time?
Because it's good for us, and Donald Trump is bad.
Let me answer that question with tremendous pride.
And no honesty.
The men and women of the Department of Homeland Security are working around the clock 7 days a week to ensure that we do not have a crisis at the border.
You know, it's not really dumping your kids off in the desert. It's like a starving, thirsty, snake-infested summer camp. Ted Cruz says kids in cages were bad under Trump, but under Biden, apparently, no biggity.
Well, those cages are being expanded. They're being reopened. Now that Biden's running them, they're simply safe humanitarian locations. Of course, Obama built the cages, and the reason we have little boys and little girls being brought in by human traffickers is because of Obama's amnesty program that served as a magnet to begin with. But
yeah, like I said, it's pretty much policy. Do you notice that Ted Cruz is looking more and more like this guy every day?
We happy few, we band of brothers. For he who sheds his blood with me this day shall be my brother.
Ted's just not feeling as blue.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.